Welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. We have the 2020 feature, sports with Brian Camp, and entertainment news with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
By golly, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Here we are once again gathered around the breakfast table at work or wherever you are right now. We're coming live from New York City. My name is Frank Allan, and welcome to another edition of the Coffee Hour. This is a place where we get together each Friday and take our coffee break just for 1 hour, and we engage you in conversation if you so desire. We're here for you. We'll be here for the next hour, as we always are. And those of you who are watching, we thank you so much for being with us. We want to tell you that we got so many things to talk about today. First of all, Brian Camp will be here in just a few minutes from now with his part of the 2020 feature, the first part of the 2020 feature. And he will be here doing sports live here. And that sports update, the wonderful world of sports coming up. And 20 to the hour, the second part of the 2020 feature, DJ Pete will be here with, of course, entertainment news. And of course, he'll be reciting all of those birthdays of all the people of notoriety of this week. So we thank you one and all for being with us. If you're watching us, no matter where you are around the world, we're all over the world. We're global, and you can tell your friends about us. We're live right now on YouTube and Instagram. Usually live on Facebook, but that's another story. We're not live at the time. We haven't been on Facebook for quite a while, but we will be back on Facebook live right here on the Coffee Hour 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today, we'll be right back at Facebook. They sort of will probably let us out of prison, as it were. But we mentioned that so many times before, we don't have to go into detail. We were just simply restricted from broadcasting on Facebook, but we paid our time. And you know something, the whole thing about it, it was around, initially it was 59 days. So we round that off to 60, make a whole full 2 months that we've been off the air on Facebook. But we're looking forward to getting back there and looking forward to seeing all our friends who's normally with us on Facebook, but haven't come along right here on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube or Instagram. But here's the other good news is for the people who watch us on Facebook, we'll get a chance to see the show anyway, because after this show is over, sometime after the show during the day, we will play the replay. We will post this live show on replay, so everyone will get a chance to see it. So that's all coming up, and we thank you so much for being with us. So ladies and gentlemen, what do you say we get started? How about it? What would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? Huh? So excuse me while I shoot up. Oh, that's delicious. That is delicious. Nothing like that first jolt of the day, and that had to be the coffee hour. You know, right here in New York City, we got sunny skies. We're going to tell you about our weather forecast. Speaking of that, those of you who would like to chime in conversation, we welcome that. All you have to do is type in whatever you want to say, and we'll acknowledge you. We'll answer all of your questions and your ideas and your thoughts, whatever you have to talk about. We will acknowledge that. We throw out conversation, and you can come out with any kind of conversation. We talk everything from politics to sports to everything. So there's nothing off limits in terms of conversations, just as long as it's clean conversation and friendly conversation. That's all we ask for. So we're going to move along on the show and tell you about so many other things that are coming along. And as I said, if you're going to chime in on the show, give us your weather forecast wherever you are. And now if you're from New York, where we're broadcasting right now, you don't have to worry about that. I will take care of the weather for you here in New York. But for the rest of you, you're out of town, you're out of the country or someplace, and you're watching right now and you want to join in and just be friendly, let us know what's happening in your area as far as the weather's concerned. And we like to convey that to everyone. That's something that we like to do, and it's not something that's actually required from you. We ask you to do. Some people do it. Some people choose not to do it. And some people would like to chime in, but they don't for whatever reason. but they continue to watch the show anyway, and we really appreciate that. And if you can't spend the whole hour with us, give us any time that you can, and we would really appreciate that. Now, for those of you who are in a time zone where you're working right now, like here, we're broadcasting here in the morning. And if you happen to be at work right now and they give you what they call that 15-minute coffee break, which I don't know if they do that in corporate life anymore, but if they do give you that coffee break and it's like only 15 minutes, then you might want to take that 15 minutes with your coffee and sit down and relax and watch us on your computer as you sit back and relax. And then when the 15 minutes is up, you can still stay with us because you could multitask, right? Watch the show and do your work at the same time. I know a lot of people could do that. A lot of people are talented enough to do that. But like I said, whatever time you could spare, would really be appreciative. We really like that. So I want to say hello to all of you guys who are watching us on YouTube and Instagram, and of course, Facebook. Of course, we'll broadcast this later. But if you're watching us on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This way, whenever we go on live, you will be notified right there in an instant. And even if you post something like a video or something, you will be notified. You'll be part of the family, you'll be a friend of the show, and everything will be fine. And later on in the program too, we're going to have those Turner Classic movie picks for you. That's all coming along, Turner Classic movies. That's sort of like to add to your weekend. Now, I know a lot of you people do things on weekends, and you do the things that you would like to do if you have the luxury of having the day off. And some people do work Saturdays and Sundays, and you can still watch, whatever you want to do on the job, within reason. But if you're watching and you have a weekend and you want to watch TV, let's say, for instance, you're there and you have inclement weather, which won't allow you to go out to do any outdoor activities, well, there's always the movies, always checking out. Anyway, that's what we have for you. We'll tell you more about that later in the program. So it's all the Turner Classic movies and everything to go along with it. And again, we just want a quick reminder to get vaccinated. We don't linger on this as we used to do because things are kind of calming down. Things are looking a little better, although we have a new spike in the air, which of course people going back to wearing their mask. I know here in New York, they lifted a mandate. There's a judge in Florida, I believe, lifted the mandate. You've probably heard this story all weekend long, lifted the mandate for wearing masks in, let's say, the airports, and things like that. And it kind of confuses people. And we don't want you to get confused by any means. The whole thing, if you are confused about something, use your sensible judgment and continue to wear your mask. In other words, if you're going traveling, if you don't feel comfortable enough to go on a flight and you can possibly sit next to someone who's not wearing a mask, and that's not comfortable for you, well, then you wear yours. That's the best we can say, because a lot of this thing it's a lot of confusing things that's happening along. So we want to make sure that everybody's safe, everybody's healthy, get vaccinated, stay up to date on your boosters. Some people are now eligible to get the second booster shot, which is also available. So whatever you do, you can check that out. Now, if the time when we used to give information on where to go to get boosted, we kind of like still do in a way. That's why we post it on the, if you're watching us on YouTube right now live, you see in the chat area, you'll see there's a thing that I posted way at the top, the information I gave you, and it has the COVID-19 number, all of that, it's right there. And for those of you who are looking for answers to this, you can call and talk to someone. And that number, for the benefit of people who are watching us on Instagram, we don't have the luxury of broadcasting or posting whatever we have, the information that we have for you. We do have the luxury of doing it, but as you can see, it's just going to take up a little too much time. So I will give you the number right now. That number is called the COVID-19 test number. It's a hotline. Number is 718-638-7682. That's 718-638-7682. You can call that and get information. And of course, if you would like further information, if you didn't get that, you can contact me personally and I can email you or text you or whatever the information that you're seeking. And to do that, you can contact me at any time. I have two sources. I have a telephone number and an email address. My email address is frankallanprod@aol.com. Frank Allan. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D. That's short for Productions. frankallanprod@aol.com. You can email me and just say, I need some information or where I can go, or can you relay that to me or whatever, and I can help you out the best way I can. I also have a telephone number. You can leave a message on anytime you like. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Someone will get back to you. That number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Again, that number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. It's right there for you. Okay, we are here and we're going to get to our weather forecast right now because I think that's important. And again, for those of you who are in certain areas outside of New York City, of course, you don't have to do it. But if you're, a certain city, different cities, different countries, and you want to chime in with us, please give us your weather forecast. We really would appreciate that. We have a great weather forecast for today. Now, we had some warm weather here in New York, and you go outside, you see people are starting to shred their clothes, taking off their jackets. And, instead of doing little by little, because that's dangerous. If you just like all of a sudden change exactly with the weather, that's kind of dangerous. So you just want to like little by little shred them off, just little by little. And the hot weather will be here before you know it. Summertime will be here, but right now it's a good time to stay with a jacket. If it gets a little warmer, unbearable, you could always take it off. People are still wearing scarves anyway. That's what they did yesterday. But listen, we here in New York right now, there's not a cloud in the sky, not one cloud in the sky. And it is great. It is great. What we have, our temperature right now at this time is 61 degrees. 61 degrees, that's our temperature right now. That's what we have. And what we have right now is sunny skies. We'll have high temperatures. We'll go up to 66 degrees. Winds will be northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 46, winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Saturday, we get partly cloudy skies, high 61. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, cloudy skies, slight chance of rain showers will develop. We'll have a low near 50 degrees and winds will be light and variable. And as we wrap up our week on Sunday, you want to hit church or you want to do anything else, we don't have a bad thing going here. We have partly cloudy skies. We'll have a high 63 degrees. Winds will be east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And repeating, our current temperature is 61 degrees here in New York City. And it looks great. So for the most part of the weekend, it's going to be dry, except for maybe Saturday night, we'll get a spritz or two, little showers or so, but that's not like a washout or anything. So the weekend looks good. So tell us how your weekend is weather-wise. I'm pretty sure DJ Pete, when he comes in, he'll give me his. We'll get one from Brian Camp, of course. He's always telling us, he brags about the great weather they have in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina, right? Brags about that a lot, but that's okay. And I'm happy for people who have or who are experiencing good weather. I'm happy for those people that you have something to show off about, right? You have something to tell about, and that's great news. Okay, I just want to relay a couple of passings here over the week. This past week, his name is Rio Hackford. Rio Hackford, he's an actor, and he's known for the movie The Mandalorian. That's the name of the movie, if I can pronounce that correctly. Mandalorian. It's called Mandalorian. That's the movie. and it starred Rio Hackford, and he's an actor. Also, he's the stepson of the legendary actress Helen Mirren. You know her, she played in a lot of great movies, and she looks absolutely fabulous. Not only does she do movies, she has a lot of endorsement. Those are beauty products. She's on there. You can see her a lot on there. Anyway, that's her stepson, and he passed away this week at the age of 51 years old. So we're going to send our blessings and our condolences out to Helen Mirren and her family and all of the people who are in the acting business who knew him and loved him and worked with them. We want to send our condolences out to them. Also, Tony Award-winning Allan Morse, and you remember him, if you like musicals, you remember How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Well, he was the main character on that show, on that movie. He was a Tony Award winner, and he died just 2 days ago in his apartment at the age of 90 years old. And so he lived a long life. I didn't realize that he was that age. I didn't realize that. But he played in other movies, and I do remember him at one point doing daytime drama. I can't remember the actual show that he was on, but I do remember he was doing daytime drama for a while, and did stuff on Broadway. Now, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying was originally Broadway, but then they turned it into the movie. I can't remember whether or not he was actually on Broadway. I think he was, and then they did the movie. And it was a good movie. I'm going to get a chance to see it later on too. Have that movie in my archives. I want to check it out this weekend, just like a lot of things. Being that the weekend is that time for all of us to relax and enjoy, to do the things that we want to do and not what we have to do. You don't want to have to wake up and say, I have to do this, I have to do that. Not on the weekends. You want to be able to say, I don't have to do anything but what I want to do. And that's how I structure my weekends. I mean, I get everything I'll do in the week. Whatever I have to do, it has to be during the week. And just say, when the weekend comes, I don't even have to look at a clock. You want to get to that point where you're comfortable, where you don't have to look at a clock. You know how it is during the week. You're looking at a clock and you're saying, oh my goodness, it's time for me to hit this or do this. I got to go to the gym. I got to do this. I got to do that. On Saturdays and Sundays, I don't want to have to worry about that. Don't look at a clock, just go out and just enjoy the weekend. And that's what we hope for you too. The other thing too, and I saved this one for last, the passing of Sid Mark. Sid Mark was an American disc jockey, came out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He started his career in 1956. And later on, he became the icon of playing Frank Sinatra music, nothing but Frank Sinatra music. Now, it was something that I didn't mention last night. I mentioned all of this last night, but I didn't mention the fact that being that he was the one that did Frank Sinatra and he was famous for it, but also there was also Jonathan Schwartz, who used to do Frank Sinatra. Jonathan Schwartz was a singer as well, but as a disc jockey, he played Frank Sinatra music. And but we didn't elaborate that on, too much, but he did, and that was brought to my attention last night. And I forgot to mention that, but it was brought to my attention this morning by Kevin Briscoe, who also has a show on Facebook. He said he was watching a replay of the show, and he heard me mention Sid Mark, and just pulled my coattail there. I said, hey, you're absolutely right, and I will mention it on this morning's show. So yeah, Jonathan Schwartz did play Sinatra music, but in my opinion, I think the king was Sid Mark. Sid Mark, I remember, like I said, he started in Philadelphia. Now, I don't know when he started his career in 1956, if he started in Philadelphia. I don't know if he did that or not. And maybe he was just a regular disc jockey. Maybe he played jazz or something else until a certain point in his career when he decided, well, he's going to go on the Sinatra trip. And so he started playing Sinatra and started in Philadelphia, and then he expanded the program. And it went from different cities. Because I remember, before he got that big, even though he did a show in Philadelphia, he also was given a show here in New York City on one of the stations on Saturday nights. And he used to come on, and I used to always listen to him. He used to come on Saturday nights at 7 o'clock, 4 hours of Sinatra from 7 to 11. And it was called Saturday Night or Saturday with Sinatra. And then it started expanding to other stations and then internet stations. And then he did Sundays with Sinatra, Saturdays with Sinatra, during the week with Sinatra. He just expanded. So our condolences go out to the Sidmark family, his wife, and the rest of his family. We want to wish them condolences and strength. And we lost a legend in our business. So, and he was 88 years old. Sidmark, a great disc jockey from Philadelphia. And we're going to shift from Philadelphia going to Charlotte, North Carolina right now. Brian Camp is on, and he's here with the latest developments in today's world of sports, looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I've got good weather here. Sunny sky. There's not a cloud in the sky right now. I'm bragging because I know you brag all the time. You brag.
Well, I don't mean to brag, but it's North Carolina is a little bit warmer than it is on the East Coast. We're in the South and you're in the East Coast, but I'm happy. I wish everybody would have good weather. Sometimes we need for it to rain for our crops, and we don't want to have a drought. But yes, congratulations. I'm glad New York City had some good weather. When I was there last week, it was there for 8 or 9 days. It was beautiful weather, not extremely warm, but it was seasonable weather for that time of the year. But here, 67 degrees out here, and it's going up to 84 degrees. And yes, the smoker will maybe be on tonight, but definitely on Saturday and Sunday. That's for sure. That's going to be a must. Yes. So we are going to have some great weather here. You forgot to mention, first of all, good morning to you and everybody out there that's tuning in across the nation and across the world. Gilbert Godfrey passed away, the comedian. I don't know if you mentioned that.
I mentioned that was last week. I mentioned that last week.
Was it last week? Okay, Gilbert Godfrey. Yeah, he played in some of those Eddie Murphy movies and a lot of comedy, and he was a good guy. I'm glad that he made us laugh.
Aflac. He was the guy with that voice.
Oh, okay, really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We have passed away 2 hockey legends. Mike Bossy of the New York Islanders, the famous call every time. John Sterling, who's now the announcer for the Yankees, but back in the 70s, in the 80s, he used to do the New York Islanders hockey game, and every time Mike Bossy would score, he would say, "Islander go, Islander go, Islander go," and that was a famous call. But Mike Bossy had passed away, fortunately, from lung cancer. And today, Guy Lafleur, the famous Canadian, who played for the Montreal Canadiens, that passed away at the age of 70. I don't like to give bad news about people dying, but these were legends. May they all rest in peace. But
I always thought that John Sterling did that Islander Gold thing. I thought it was him. That wasn't him?
It was him, yes. It was him, because you got to remember, back in the 70s, he used to do New York Islander hockey, and he used to do the New York Nets in the ABA. And he used to do ABA games. At that time, it was the American Basketball Association. He used to be on WMCA doing the games. And he left New York to do Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Braves games. And now he went back to New York for a long stint in Georgia. And he's doing the radio side of the New York Yankee game. So John Sterling is a living legend.
I remember
he chose to be on the radio side,
I remember John Sterling had a radio program, and I'm gonna let you get to your sports after I say this. He had a radio show here in New York on WMCA, and always say that I want to go, and then someone called up and complained about it, And he mentioned it on the air. He said, someone called and complained about that. I say, Island goal too much. Yeah, Island the goal. He says, I will keep saying Island the goal, Island the goal. He said it just like that.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Those catchphrases are good. It's just like he has that catchphrase, just like
Marv Albert.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how, when we say yes, that's where that came from.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. In baseball, the rosters of the Major League Baseball teams with unvaccinated players will look a little when they travel to Toronto, Canada during the 2022 season. Due to Canadian federal policy, players who haven't received a COVID-19 vaccine are unable to enter the country and play against the Blue Jays at Rogers Center. Rogers Center is where they play baseball, Major League Baseball. So Canada has been true to their word throughout the years, throughout the time, even at the start of the pandemic, with hockey, basketball, and baseball as well. And I'm pretty sure with Canadian football too, where they keep their guidelines just to be safe. And that's what they continue to do. National Football League, Colin Kaepernick, remember him? The one who kneeled down, not because he disrespected the country. And let me get that straight. Everybody still thinks that he disrespected the flag. He did not disrespect the flag. He did it for a cause. And a lot of you people out there say, yeah, but Martin Luther King Jr. wouldn't have done that. Yes, he would have. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would have protested and would have done the Black Lives Matter. Yes, I will say that. But anyway, back to him. He's willing to become a backup quarterback if anybody gives him a tryout. He's willing to take a backup role, and so let's see what happens. We don't know what his football skills are like now. He's getting older. He hasn't played in a long time, but let's see what happens. In the NBA, Boston Celtics Marcus Smart wins NBA excuse me, Defensive Player of the Year award for the first time. He became the first guard to take home the honor since Gary Payton did it in the 1995-96 season. We was talking about hockey a little bit earlier. Well, National League Hockey team Seattle Kraken, the Kraken, have added 2 minority investors in former Seattle Seahawks star running back Marshawn Lynch and Seattle-born rapper Macklemore. So the team is worth value is $875 million. So they are have a share of ownership. Not much, but a share. In tennis, players from Russia and Belarus will not be allowed to compete in Wimbledon this year. This is the third slam of the Grand Slam for the year, because there's 4. They have the Australian Open, they have the French Open, they have Wimbledon, and later on in the fall, early fall and around Labor Day weekend, you have the US Open that's going to be right there in New York City. They are banned. The players I just mentioned, the players who are from Russia and from Belarus are being banned because from those countries to participate in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and Belarus close allyship to Russia's President Vladimir, okay, I'm saying it wrong, Putin. So yes, Putin, the president of Russia. So he's he's the cause of why that these tennis players are not competing, and that's a sad thing. But in sports, April 22nd, on this day, 1914, Babe Ruth, his first professional game as a pitcher, is a 6-0 win in his first professional game. Remember, he was a pitcher before he became an outfielder. 1954, the NBA adopts a 24-second clock rule and a 16-foul rule. That was in 1954. 1957, all National League Baseball games integrated. John Irwin Kennedy becomes the first Black player for the Philadelphia Phillies. 1959, Chicago White Sox defeated the Kansas City A's 20-6. And in one inning, they scored 11 runs only on one hit. They scored 11 runs on one hit. Now, they had 10 walks and 3 errors also in that inning. So that's why only one hit. But how do you score all those runs? It must have been all those errors and walks and wild pitches. That's how they scored. 1991, Frank Thomas is the first Chicago White Sox to homer in the new Comiskey Park. In 1994, Michael Moore defeated Evander Holyfield in 12 rounds for the heavyweight boxing title. And that's sports. But before I go, I wanted to talk about what happened, what we talked about a day or two ago about the Mike Tyson incident on the plane. What happened was Mike Tyson was on a plane. He wasn't trying to hide anything. He's just a regular passenger, wanted to sit on the plane. Some guys wanted to take a picture and they wanted to take, to make joke, but it got out of hand. The person that kept on talking and getting out of hand was apparently drunk. They said he was drinking too much, and he kept on antagonizing Mike Tyson. And allegedly, I have to say allegedly, Mike Tyson hit him several times. It was on a video. Hit him several times and was scarred up a little bit. But my point is this, what I'm trying to say is this. I was never starstruck of anybody, no athlete, no actor. I'd rather just sit back and take pictures with my camera from a long distance. This is why athletes today do not want to indulge or sign autographs or indulge in any kind of exchanging words, or they don't want to take no pictures. When you at a game, there are people that just drink too much, get out of hand, and just make a fool of themselves. Kyrie Irving, the basketball player for the Brooklyn Nets, was fined $50,000 because he flipped the bird to a couple of people in the stands of Boston, and that led to his fine. And should he have been better controlled than that? Yes. We understand fans, they pay their money. They want to act like adults. They have a right to boo, but you don't have a right to be out of control and lose control. And this is what happened this week with Mike Tyson and Kyrie Irving, because in basketball, the fans are right there on the court. They're so close. It's not like in football where you're on the sidelines and the crowd is like from a distance. Football's different, baseball's different. For basketball, they're right there on the court, and they say some horrible things. I've been to games where I've seen players be verbally abused. So control yourself. I think they should ban alcohol on planes and at sporting events too, because you take one little bit too many, this is what happens. And that's sports, everybody.
I agree with you. I mean, I've seen videos on Facebook of people getting fights into an arena, let's say a baseball. I saw one video posted where two guys got into the fight while they were watching a baseball game and throwing beer on each other. And so now you have a distraction for people who want to watch these games and enjoy themselves. Now they're fighting in the stands. And so, yeah, I agree with that. It's not like the old days. People could enjoy a nice cold beer in baseball and sit back, relax, and root for their team to boo or whatever they want to do. And as long as they did it orderly. And as for flying, yeah, take alcohol off. It's just proven that people just don't know how to take a flight, because you're up there 40,000 feet in the air, maybe even more, and you're a captive audience. And the dangerous thing now, people get into a fight. They've seen it so many times. And one other thing, you don't want to mix alcohol with Mike Tyson. All right? So the guy that was drinking alcohol and wanted to rumble with Mike Tyson, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and then, it's like Tyson, I would imagine he was sitting in coach. right? When he was flying, because not everybody's sitting first class. So, you know, and because you were sitting first class, that doesn't make you first class.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm gonna say, you know, if that was the case, then you know, you push Mike Tyson's button. We already know how Mike Tyson is. He's trying to calm down a bit. He
is trying to calm down, but they will not allow him to because of who he is. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I never met Mike Tyson, but if I ever met him, you better believe I'm going to be cordial to him.
Yeah.
I'll ask him if I can give him a high five. I'll ask him.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Okay, Brian, I guess that's it. Anything else?
No, just ready for the weekend, you know, plenty of sports. Make sure you check your local listings for the NBA playoff games, your Major League Baseball games, and whatever, Netflix, of course, and, you know, just look out. I didn't pick out a movie to watch, but I'm gonna scroll through and see what I could find. But yes, it's gonna be a nice, sweet weekend. Hope everybody be safe and continue to wear your mask around people. Yes, around people.
Now, if you could hang on for 2 more weeks, we'll be back on Facebook. Just hang in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's Brian Camp, of course, with the latest developments in today's world of sports update. He comes here every week, bringing you that news and fascinating news about sports. I love the stories that he tells and carefully researches everything, and that makes it good for the show. And so that's his part of the 2020 feature. Coming up next, the second part of the 2020 feature, 20 to the hour, DJ Pete he's going to be here. And he is going to give us entertainment news. Isn't that exciting? Entertainment news, and recite all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And speaking of DJ Pete, he has weather out there, which is pretty good. Not as good as New York right now, but it's I'll take it. It's partly sunny, high 57 degrees, and it'll be low tonight, 37 degrees. So we're surely coming out of that cold weather. Winds out of the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And he added one other thing. He says elevated fire danger predicted. Now I'm going to find out when he comes in what he means by that. It's going to be today. It's going to be elevated fire danger predicted today. We're going to find out more about that when he comes in. There's always a lot to talk about here. And so that makes for a good conversation piece. And he'll be here in just a couple of minutes from now, right here on the Coffee Hour. And it is the Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan. We'll be with you until the top of the hour. And of course, we're here with you every week. Those of you who are just joining us for the first time, we're glad that you're here. Don't make it your last time. Always be here. And of course, if you're watching us live, we're coming from 2 sources at the moment. We're live on YouTube and live on Instagram. And if you're watching us on either of those, we thank you for that. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be in mind that you can always subscribe to us. Subscribe to my YouTube channel this way. Whenever we come on live, for the first time, you'll be notified when we come on live. And of course, you'll be notified if we so much as post a video or something. And so that's how we work. And you can be part of the show. You are a friend of the show. We invite everyone. You can always talk to us. It's a program of free exchange, ideas and opinions. That's what we're all about. We don't get offended by, unless, of course, you say something offensive, which I know you won't. We got a lot of great people out here that won't offend us. Not at all. So we're going to find out more from DJ Pete as he comes in just about a minute from now, right here on the Coffee Hour. You know, oh boy, it's been a rough week for a lot of people. With the deaths that I mentioned and things like that. And we're losing a lot of people still with this virus going on. The cases has gone up and people are not wearing their mask. And as Brian said before he went off, he said, maybe you should continue to wear your mask, and you really should, because it's a thing that you want to make sure that you're safe. You want to make sure that you're healthy. And so we look forward to all of you people to do that. Wear your mask and stay healthy and stay comfortable. You know, I do understand, and of course you all do too, those of you who wear the mask and you wear it faithfully. I do understand that it's not an easy thing to do. You know, a lot of people, they don't breathe. And then there are some people with respiratory problems and they have to take the mask off every once in a while. Of course, you have to take your mask off when you eat and drink and things to that nature. But you want to make sure that for the most part, if you're taking mass transit or if you're flying or something like that, you want to make sure that you wear your mask, you know, because it's easy to spread the disease. And even though you may not have it, you know, you can still spread it in some form. So ladies and gentlemen, please do that. And we'll appreciate that very much that you do. Okay, we're here, color bars off, color bars on. We wanna now, let's see, whenever he comes in, whenever he decides to, there he is. DJ Pete is on with us. And DJ Pete, boy, it's the second time in a row. We're glad to have you aboard with us. How you doing?
Good, Frank. Just testing my audio here. My camera's dead today, so I apologize for that.
Oh, okay. Okay, but I see you.
And yeah, so I got a picture of myself here up.
Okay.
For everyone to see who I am and what I do.
Okay.
So great week in music history. Let's start with Chuck Higgins, born April 17th, 1924, American saxophonist, birthplace of Gary, Indiana, moved to LA in his teens. Some of his famous tunes: Pachuco Hop, Motorhead Baby. He got the name. Now let me see here. His nickname. He got the nickname Motorhead Baby, and Frank Zappa kind of influenced him in a way with the song Motorhead Sherwood or something like that. Kind of weird connection there. So yeah, Chuck Higgins, really great saxophonist. Wetback Hop, another great tune of his here. Let's see, who else do we have? Clarence Gatemouth Brown, born April 18th, 1924, American singer. Could play a lot of different instruments. Out of Louisiana is where he's from. He's best known for his work as a blues musician. And his major influences was big band music, traditional blues, country, jazz, Cajun, and R&B, who kind of created his own sort of sound with rock and roll, folk, and Texas blues. Some people who were his big influences: Louis Jordan, T-Bone Walker, Count Basie. I actually got to see Gatemouth Brown a number of years ago up in Maine before he passed away. He wasn't doing too good and couldn't do the entire concert that night. But great guy, a lot of great music. Look up Gatemouth Brown. Let's see. Lionel Hampton, born April 20th, 1908. American jazz pianist, percussionist, and vibraphonist. So someone who would play the vibraphone, also known as, or sometimes known as a xylophone. He was a big band leader, worked with many great people like Teddy Wilson, Benny Goodman, Buddy Rich, Charlie Parker, Charles Mingus, and many more. He was inducted to the Alabama Hall of Fame and awarded National Media of Arts in 1996. One of my favorite tunes of Lionel Hampton is Lavender Coffin. And he's singing about having a coffin that's colored lavender at his funeral one day. And I play that song a lot during the Halloween season here. Let's see, who else do we have? Bull Moose Jackson, April 22nd, 1919. American blues and R&B singer, saxophonist. Most successful in the late 40s into the 1950s. He was considered a performer of dirty blues and jump blues. One of his one interesting kind of interesting songs he had. I Want a Bow-Legged Woman and a Big 10-Inch Record. And that song, Big 10-Inch, I believe Aerosmith covered that later on down the road. Another great tune, Why Don't You Haul Off and Love Me? It was a song that was successful for Wayne Raney and also for several country western performers down the road. Finally, I have Roy Orbison, born April 23rd, 1936, American singer, songwriter, musician, best known for his singing style, complex song structures, dark and emotional ballads. He was one of the original members of Sam Phillips' Sun Records in 1956. One of his some of his favorite famous tunes: "Only the Lonely," "Oh Pretty Woman," "In Dreams," "Crying," and "Running Scared." Let's see, what else is it here? It says here, 1988, he co-founded a band called the Traveling Wilburys. Do you remember that group, Frank?
I certainly do.
Okay, so it was a super rock group of many great people. Roy Orbison, George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, and Jeff Lynne.
Yep.
And that year, Roy passed away of a heart attack in December at the age of 52. One of their videos of the Traveling Wilburys does not have Roy in it because he passed away before they could film it. And that's what I got. You're talking about religious holidays last week. Well, I have one today. Is Holy Friday. Now you're probably wondering, well, wait a second, that was last week. Well, the Orthodox Christians, which are the Greeks, Macedonians, Ukraine, Russia, Georgia, many of those countries, we celebrate Easter on a different calendar than everybody else. So every once in a while it does line up together, but this year, today is Holy Friday. This Sunday is Easter Sunday for us. And that's all I have this week, Frank.
Okay, I didn't realize that, but hey, still we're in the midst of Holy Week still, if that's the case. And
yeah, and I like to joke to my friends that are not Orthodox Christians. I say I get to celebrate Fat Tuesday twice.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, birthdays today. Comedian Sherry Shepherd is 55. Actress, comedian Sherry Shepherd, 55. Actress Cheryl Lee is 55 as well. Musician Peter Frampton is 72 today. Mel Carter, Hold Me, Kiss Me. What was the name? Hold Me, Throw Me, Kiss Me. And that was Mel Carter's big hit back in 1965. R&B singer. He's 79 today. Actor Jack Nicholson is 85, and the ones following people who are no longer with us, you have Glenn Campbell, he would have been 86 today. Jazz bassist Paul Chambers would have been 87. Charlotte Rae from Facts of Life, that's the mama. She would have been 96 today. Legendary actress Betty Page, also a pinup gal, and she would have been 99. TV producer Aaron Spelling would have been 99. Jazz bassist Charlie Mingus would have been 100, and actor Eddie Albert would have been 116 years old. Boy, if they were around today and they actually see the business that had changed so much since they've been into it.
Oh, that would have been a great band just to put together.
Absolutely. But we move on. We just move on.
Yeah, we move on,
and we keep their legacy alive. Whether they're actors, they're musicians, and we don't forget them. We try not to forget them. At least not on this show. We won't forget them.
No. We keep them alive, and it's so great to hear newer and new sounds from other musicians.
Yeah.
out there.
But I like your presentation because you go back way back than a lot of people realize, and you acknowledge a lot of these people and you give information about it. That's what I like about your presentation here.
Thank you, Frank. And, you know, I also have my radio shows where I play a lot of this music. I posted it in the comments here. I'm going to punch up here. You can find me on WMPG Radio every other Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, WMPG.org. And I'm also on radio airwaves online most Mondays, 8 p.m. to 10 Eastern Time, radio-airwaves.co.uk.
I like the way you do that. This way you save me the trip. One thing before you go, I got to ask you, what is this elevated fire you were talking about?
So that is, it happens every spring, pretty much. And sometimes you get it in the summer. The conditions, the weather conditions, we don't have rain for a while. Coming out of winter into spring, things are still dry in the air. Now, even though snow melts and the water goes into the ground, it's not enough to wet down trees, brush, anything like that, any plant life, to keep it from burning. So it's real easy for a forest fire or an outside grass fire or something, brush fire, to start and take off really fast too. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. Well, Pete, listen, you know, hang in. I told Brian this earlier, but I'm going to tell you the same thing. Hang in there, because 2 weeks from today, we'll be right back on Facebook.
Awesome. And hopefully, yeah.
I can hardly wait. I'm going to search back into my archives of Facebook and see if there was something I posted that they may possibly not like. I don't know. I don't think there's any more. But you never know these guys.
Yeah, you never know. And you know, with social media platforms like that, they have computers that do it, and not necessarily a person. But even sometimes they've been known that people at Facebook or whatever personally may not like what you post.
Yeah.
And they'll take it down, and that's really wrong. It goes against the rules of the business.
Absolutely.
And I see that a lot, not just on social media, but on a lot of different groups online. One person has a personal opinion over the others, and that's what happens. So it's unfortunate, but we have to deal with it and move on.
It not only go against the purpose of the business, also it goes against free speech and free expression.
It does.
Unless of course you're out to hurt someone, you don't want to do. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the smallest mistake. You know, I got a warning from Facebook a week or so ago for something that was totally misinterpreted by them. Yeah. And so there it is, you know. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to get back. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, we're going to play it by ear with you. Hopefully we'll see you back here next week.
Okay, Frank. Shout out to Brian and everybody else tuning in. Have a great day, great weekend, great Easter weekend for the Orthodox Christians out there. Have a good day.
Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Good weekend. That was DJ Pete, ladies and gentlemen. He's always with us, just as his part of the 2020 feature, his second part of the 2020 feature, 20 to the hour, always bringing you all the information, entertainment, and reciting all of those birthdays. We have the best guys here. Brian, Pete, they're the best. They know their work, and it's great. It's great to have these guys along with us each week, and hopefully he'll be back here next week as well. If not, you know, if he's out there making the ducats, of course he's going to relay all of the information to me, and I will carry it. But I really like him here. I really love both of them. You know, there were times when, yeah, maybe both of them at the same time had to take the day off, and then I have to run solo. But that's okay. That's okay. It's like I'm not going to run into a brick wall or anything. You know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is not Talk Back Live, the Coffee Hour. I did Talk Back Live last night, didn't I? Okay, the Coffee Hour. And we're here with you, and we're going to be here up until the top of the hour. We have just a little more time left before we go. But first off, I want to tell you about the movies before we page out of here. The movies. Now, we have movies that we talk about, those Turner Classic movies. Yeah, we talk about those a lot. And we bring them to you only because we want to add to your weekend. Now, there's a lot of things that you can be doing, and we don't mind adding our part to your weekend just because you'll have an alternative or you have an option to do whatever you want to do with all of the plans that you may have. And this could be one of them too. Watch your favorite movie. Okay, here's something from the Turner Classic movie. I have only one pick this week, and I usually have more, but this is my only pick this week. This is a movie starring Bette Davis. It's called All About Eve. It's a classic movie from 1950, and that comes on Turner Classic Movie. And you can watch that this coming Sunday at 1:30 p.m. If you're through with church, you're back home, you're getting ready to fix a meal for yourself, for your church, your Sunday dinner. You could watch it at the same time. It's all set and ready to go. So that's Sunday, All About Eve, on Turner Classic Movies at 1:30 p.m. Now, if that's not enough for you, you could always go on Turner Classic Movies and scroll through the program guide, and you'll see a lot of other movies that you may be interested in. I didn't put it there because it wasn't my pick, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean that you may like it or may not like it, whatever. But you can go there and check it out for yourself and look at it and say, oh, I think I'll watch that too. Now, every time I give you movies, I never overlap them. I'm making a point to never overlap the movies. This way, you can see all of the movies in its entirety. Also, if you are going to watch movies, speaking of movies too, you could always go on demand. Movie on demand. You get the free movies there from all of the ages of the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and so forth and so on. And you can check them out, scroll down, find out what you like. And they may be movies that you haven't seen in a long time, or maybe have jogged your memory. Maybe you haven't seen a particular movie as a kid, and you go back and you have, oh, I'm going to watch that. That's great. I'll put that on my bucket list as well. And so you can do that. Also, you can go on some of the networks, right? And check them out, whatever movies are available. Like if you like Lifetime movies, if you like sports, you go to one of the networks that contain the sports that you like. And if you missed one, you could always go back the following day. It's posted there, just like last night. I didn't get a chance to see my wrestling match on Wednesday night. And so last night when I got off the air, I went home, I went back and watched that wrestling match in its entirety. So see, you can do that. You always have the option. This is a great age where we didn't have this before, and now we do. And if you miss a program, there's other options too. You know that you're going to miss something, you can DVR it or whatever, So do that. Also, they have the free movies. You want to go and check out free movies right there. Free movies and paid movies too. Those are the up-to-date movies that you could see that were in the theaters maybe a couple of months ago, and they're right available at your home. You could pay for it at a very, very low price. So I'm going to repeat that movie again that you can check out this weekend. It's All About Eve. All About Eve, starring Bette Davis. Turner Classic Movies. That's this Sunday at 1:30 p.m. And I hope you like it. I think you'll like it. I love Bette Davis. She's got Bette Davis eyes. That's why I love her so much. Okay, my name is Frank Allan here, and we're coming up to the top. I just wanted to mention that, they have legalized marijuana, right? And in Jersey, they had a long line yesterday, a very long line yesterday for that. And I got to tell you, we knew this was coming. And I just wanted to give you some stats on where they legalized the substance. It's called cannabis, and that's another name for it too, cannabis. And it's legalized in Connecticut, also in New Mexico, New York, of course, New York City, New York, whole state of New York, and Virginia, Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, and Vermont. And so I just want to say that I just mentioned it to say that use it. If you're going to use it, do it responsibly, right? If you're under the influence of it, please don't drive or use any machinery. And if you're going to use it away from other people who may not want to indulge. That's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I had a good time on the show, and I hope you did too, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back Thursday for Talk Back Live. That's Thursday night, every Thursday night between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Brian Camp will be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports. And we'll have conversation, all of us together. That's Thursday between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Other than that, I will be back here next Saturday, or next Friday, I should say, with Brian Camp and DJ Pete. Brian with sports, DJ Pete with entertainment, and you and I with conversation, the whole 9 yards will be here. So ladies and gentlemen, until then, have yourself a great weekend and a great day, and I'll see you back here soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistance, Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.